This is one that's been on my mind for a few weeks now, and it's about behaviour change. Now, as many of you know, I've got brain damage, and the brain damage from my stroke, but that's also, as I'm getting older, that's also combines with old age memory problems as well. So sometimes I don't know which is which. But so behaviour change. We've just been away for 6 weeks in Scotland, and the first week back for Jane and I was quite difficult and complicated, and that's because it only takes, I think it's like 3 or 4 weeks or 5 weeks to make behaviour change. And the way your brain works, you get used to routine. And with a stroke, you have to have routine to get used to routine. By breaking that for 5 weeks, living in a camper van, the 6 weeks is the longest we've ever been away in a camper van, and we've completely changed our behaviours. Now then, when it came back, that got a little bit complicated for Jane, but very complicated for me. And I thought to myself, bloody hell, like, you know, that's going to take me a while to get used to it. And I've had the first week now, going into next week, and I'm feeling a little bit more calmer, and I'm looking forward to next week. And I'm putting everything in place to make sure my behaviour stays the same, my routine gets back to where it was, and things move on. And then I went shooting with my mate Rich, and we both talked about that. And he said, we don't see any of our friends anymore, or the people we used to see. We don't arrange to get together. We don't plan this. We don't plan that. He says, you think it's because when lockdown came and went, it changed all our behaviours? And I never thought about it on that scale before, but he's probably right, 100% right. So do I do things differently? Do you do things differently? Do we do things differently? Because lockdown changed our behaviours. I think it did to a huge extent. I think I was already getting used to living with myself. After my stroke, my plan was in 2020, because I had my stroke in 2019. 2020, I was planning to get back out, start associating with people, go to shops and things that I couldn't do because I couldn't be around people. And then lockdown came, but I'd already been used to being on my own. So I don't think I noticed much of a change because I was just used to the way things were. So for me, I just carried on. I started watching Netflix, started doing stuff like that, and just not going out. That suited me down to the ground. Didn't have to have anxiety, didn't have to have a problem. And everything was good. I did notice after that, when we tried to get people together to go and do events in photography or meet up in Glencoe and things like that, it started getting really difficult. I think mainly because people didn't want to bother anymore. They got so used to their own company, they couldn't be asked. And if the truth be known, I think it's what pushed me in the end to get back to powerlifting, because I'd spent far too much time just doing stuff at home for me, or just going out and doing stuff with Jane. And I thought, I need to do more. My health is suffering after my scare last year of potentially another little TIA. And I thought, I've been told I can't do this and I can't do that, but I'm going to start doing it. And that's where I'm going to come on to in these long form videos, slowly but surely. I'm going to put them together with a bit of a timeline. I started going back to the gym, and for about 8 months, 9 months maybe, I was just in Greenbank training. And then I got the powerlifting bug back because I realised I could achieve. Not only could I achieve, but this is the weirdest thing. My age group now, M3 category, over 60s, I could win in my weight class. I've got a friend who said he's going to start powerlifting again when he's 70 because he knows he could win. And I'm not talking about win locally. I'm talking about winning the British and winning the worlds. There's a lady that goes to my gym who's 70, in her 70s, who's just gone and won or come silver in the worlds. And to be honest with you, I know it sounds stupid. You've just got to show up. Obviously, you've got to be able to pull some weight off the floor, but you've just got to show up sometimes. And people that have had jobs in the past as scaffolders and this, that and the other are probably naturally strong anyway. So potentially in your 60s, 70s, 80s and 90s, and the funny thing is, the 80s and 90s category, there's hardly anyone. So if you're 80 and 90 and you can lift a weight, the chances are you can win the British or the Worlds. So I'm going to try and make something about that, how our behaviours changed and what you can achieve in powerlifting coming in the future. So watch out for these longer form videos, and that's what I'm going to focus on in the beginning, and I'll drop some photography stuff in as well. Have a nice week.